Hi, this is Paul. Thanks so much for registering for the webinar. It's going to happen in a couple, 3 days. And I'm really excited about it because I know it's extremely helpful. It's coming out of material from my book that I've written. It's called The Freedom Funnel. The subtitle is even more important. It's called Real Talk for Real Estate Agents, and that's how I operate. Want to make sure I'm keeping it real with you. And I'm really thankful for you being a part of the webinar because I come out of a teaching and coaching background and helping people understand what they need to do, how they need to do it in order to achieve and perform at a level they want to achieve and perform at is what I'm really interested in doing. And that's why I wanted to throw in a little bonus here. This is what I call a my marketing plan down to 1 page. And this is just a little bonus content. It's meant as a thank you. And I think, well, I know you're going to find this valuable. It comes from the idea that I want to demonstrate my ability to be helpful to you by actually being helpful to you. Hey, that's a good idea. Listen, the idea here is sometimes we get caught up in marketing plans and it gets very involved and frankly, it takes us out of the flow of what we really need to be doing. And so here's a way to narrow it down and keep it focused. Somebody said if you take a 100-watt light bulb, hang it from a fixture in the middle of the room, and diffuse it into a room, it'll light a small room. But if you take those same 100 watts and focus them like a laser, they can cut through steel. Now, I'm no physicist, and I don't know if that's exactly true, but it's an interesting word picture, and it gets you the idea of what I want to do here, though, with your marketing plan. Check it out. Comes in 4 parts real quick. Part 1 is your community to contact. You've got to have a plan that turns your community to your contacts. And the question is not just the entire community, but a more focused look at your community. And so let's take, for instance, first-time buyers. You want to say, who's my target really? Well, my target is first-timers. And you want to ask, what's true of first-time buyers? Like, what's their deal? Why haven't they bought a house? Well, there's a bunch of things that come to mind. For instance, maybe they're struggling with credit issues. Maybe they come from a family that never were lifetime renters. They've never actually bought a house. Maybe they haven't really faced the hard, cold facts of the numbers, that it really is cheaper to own than rent, let alone the tax breaks, the walking away with some money when you sell for a change instead of fighting with your landlord for the deposit. Maybe first-time buyers have finally got to a point where they're tired of hiding their 2 dogs from the landlord. Or maybe they finally figured out, you know, my landlord goes to Hawaii every year. I'm just struggling to make the rent. Well, he's going on your money, right? So brings us to this next point. As we think about what are the pain points and realities for first-time buyers, part of it is they don't have any idea what they're doing. They've never done this before, and they don't want to feel stupid about it, right? So here's the point. Once you have a target, not a general marketing plan that diffuses into a bright world full of marketing and never gets really heard. No. A laser focused plan that is really hitting real people where they really are, right? This is real talk for real estate agents. And I want to tell you, once you have a clear target, now you can decide, well, what's my message? That's why I'm going to write the word message here. And you know, your message is some of the stuff we've already been talking about. And we won't write it on the board, but think about where the first-time buyer is, what their pain points are, what's going on with them, and really message to them according to where they're at. And that's going to help turn your community into your contacts because they're going to start hearing from you. And then you want to decide, what's my media? How am I going to deliver my message? Is this a blog, some Facebook ads? Is it an ongoing thing that I'm doing with video? But the point is, you've got to make decisions about the best way to deliver your message to that particular target audience so you can hit them where they really are. So now you're trying to move your community to contacts, but then you want to move your contacts to clients. See, there's a difference between a contact and a client. You might be giving them useful information with your message, but how do I get them to become my actual client? Well, I need a capture system. What's my capture? How am I going to get people, when they have questions, to come to me? And then, when I have leads, what's my nurture system? And that's a bunch of big questions, right? But notice we're trying to boil this down to one single page. Looks like this on my printout. I'm going to make that available to you. I'll send that to you in another email, just as a reminder. And you'll find it helpful to help before the webinar. Just something, again, me demonstrating my ability to help you by actually helping you. Well, I don't have time to do this is a whole other webinar in its own right. Just want to give you a taste. So I've got to think about my capture and my nurture and get it on one page. And then, how am I going to turn my clients to contracts to closings? So prior to contract, what's their experience like? What's my system prior to contract? And we're talking specifically for first-time buyers. How do I handle first-time buyers once they've become my client to help them get into the right contract for them? And frankly, it's its own system, right? You really need to keep that information flow coming to them, keep them motivated, show them the ropes, hold their hands, and then what's their experience, what's my system once they're in a contract prior to closing? And it's, again, specifically for first-time buyers. Now, frankly, I need this for all of my clients, right? A system to get them from contract to close and stay in touch with them. But now, once they've got to closing, I don't want to be done with them. I need a continued client relationship, right? I need continued client relations. And so, right at the closing table, maybe I'm delivering a gift and I've got a video and I'm taking pictures, but I also want to get a review request and involve them in helping me and let them know you could really help me to reach out to other first-time buyers by giving me a great review. But I also want to get a referral request system, because as time goes, I've done all this great work helping them be successful and meet their goals, but have I got a system to make sure I get a great review and a great request? And then ultimately, as time goes, a loyalty program specifically for first-time buyers again, right? What do they know about home ownership? They just got their first house. And if I can help them and continue, if I can actually help them, I can continue to build loyalty from them. And there's lots of great ways to do it. Well, listen, this is just a taste, kind of a complimentary taste. The webinar is much bigger, much more involved, doesn't move quite as fast, so you have time to make a couple of notes. I'm really excited you're going to be there. I'm looking forward to it. Thanks so much for signing up. Talk to you soon.